Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview, and as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a 6'7" forward from the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. You know him because you saw him last year, and you also saw all of the high flying dunks and blocked shots that I showed with his highlights. I'm talking about Yvens Paul. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. It's good to be here.
Hey, excited to have you back on. Can't wait to show off some of your highlights in a nice segment that we got coming up here later on. But first up, I want some people that might be tuning in for the first time to really get to know you, really understand the journey that you've been on the past couple of years in a quick segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock, tell them about your career, first of which you spent 2 years at the junior college level playing for a powerhouse in Florida Southwestern, redshirted year one, dominated in year two and ended up signing with Eastern Kentucky to go on to the Division One level. And this past season, you led Eastern Kentucky in block shots and field goal percentage. Had a whole lot of great plays for them and actually ended up ranking second in the entire ASUN conference in block shots. Only guy that was ahead of you was the guy that led the entire country in block shots in Malcolm Wilson out of Queens, I believe his name is. So absolutely incredible what you were able to do just your first year at the Division One level. Obviously, numbers aren't astronomical, but when people watch your games, the role that you had was very pivotal for them, I feel like, especially at the start of the season. Talk to me real quick about this role that you had throughout the year, how it might have changed and whatnot, and how you adapted to fit the role that the team needed from you in year one at the D1 level.
Coming in, I knew like the level of play, the play style, and all that was going to be at a much higher level. So, of course, it's going to take some getting used to, some acclimating. But I just came in and just do what I do, finish around the rim, and rebound the ball the best I can, protect the rim. The stuff I do on a daily, to be honest.
Hey, that is for sure. And you definitely use your athleticism to help you out a lot. Obviously, you and I both know what you do best. I still remember it like it was yesterday, walking into practice at FSW and you pinning Alan Udamadu's dunk attempt right at the rim. I'm going to make sure he sees that clip so I can remind him of that. Talk to me about this athleticism that you had. We talked about it last time I had you on and
Yeah.
how you use it to your advantage. But now that you're playing at the Division One level with Eastern Kentucky, how would you say that athleticism has fit their style of play that they run in their system?
So with how we play, we're really quick pace. Pressing most of the game, if not the entire game. So like being able to move the way I move with my quick twitch, my ability to jump and just like all that, my ability to move laterally and everything, it fits well in their system. It's because we play so fast paced and everything, and being able to keep up with all that, especially because we're a pretty guard heavy team, being able to and with the league being not as big as many other leagues, being able to play with the smaller players, being able to guard the smaller players, my athleticism really helps with that, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, you can guard the 1 through 5 with your athleticism. You're able to move laterally very well, and you mentioned it right there. Very guard heavy team. I know they like to go with that stretch five in Wool. Uh, you guys ended up kind of going small ball throughout a lot of the games, and especially towards the end of the season in ASUN play, you got a few minutes here and there, but they still wanted to give you the starting nod because of your factor to create these highlight plays to get the energy going for this team. You would have these highlight monster dunks. I know because I saw it in person at FGCU doing it in your hometown, and blocking shots at will. How would you say your big time plays, these big time moments that you had in the early parts of games, in the early parts of the first and second halves, really helped spark your team for the rest of the game?
Well, I feel like I'm just, I would say I'm a pretty exciting player to watch in any aspect of the game, whether on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. And so, like, whenever we need like a little sparker to get something going, just being able to make a little highlight play, get a good block going, or a nice dunk. I feel like it gives the team a spark, a little energy, fight back, pick up the pace and everything. So that's how I feel like that helps in that aspect.
Oh, I know better than anybody that you are a highlight player, and it kills me that I couldn't see you play in person at FSW during your year there. I was gone. I was up in Kansas. That's my bad. Should
You
not
all
have
good?
left. And but I was so happy that I got to see you finally play in person against FGCU this past year. And obviously, you got the dub both times you played the Eagles.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, they're my alma mater, but I'm an Yvens Paul guy. You already know. But I
yes,
want to
sir.
talk about some of those big time plays that we just mentioned in a quick segment that I like to call Make That Play. I went through your highlights, went through synergy, looked at the best of the best dunks you had, the best of the best blocks you had, and I put together my top three right here that for this segment specifically. But obviously, I'm just a stats guy. I'm the fan in the stands. You're the guy actually doing all of these crazy plays. What would you say was your top one from this past season?
My top one. Hmm. I would probably say when we played Stetson first time at home, I had gotten a putback dunk on like it was just a big crowd of people, and I just came in there, grabbed that ball, and put it in the rim. So yeah, I would say that's probably my top one right there.
Hey, somehow you're looking at my notes. I got that at number one too, because that play, I agree with you. The crowd went crazy, and I don't blame them because that putback slam on Stetson, your guard went in, ball almost went in, but it ended up bouncing out, and you got it right when it bounced out over top of the Stetson big man, and just boom, right on top of him and the other two guards. And that was obviously big time play for your team right there. Number two, I have another putback slam that you had this time against Clemson, ACC opponent, Power Five team on the road. Trimmed the gap back to one, where you ended up going over the back of their 7 footer and slammed it right on top of his head. So that right there, that's number two. And number three, I had to put a block shot on there. I had to put that in there. And when you went against Queens, you had about 3 or 4 block shots, I believe. But the one where they did get you on the pump fake, I will say that you jumped up, but even coming down, you were able to still send that shot back. It was absolutely insane what you were able to do, maintain that focus to still block the shot. So those three right there, those are my top three plays. And I mentioned before, you ranked second in the ASUN in blocks per game, only behind the national leader, who was first in the ASUN, obviously, as well. Your defense as a whole, like we mentioned before as well, you can really guard the 1 through 5 with your athleticism. You're able to stay with anybody with any kind of speed, any kind of height, handles, whatever. George Kimball, who averaged 2.6 steals per game, he led the ASUN in steals. He ranked sixth nationally in steals. How would you say the impact of you guys that were these high caliber defensive players
You good?
impact the rest of the team defensively to where you guys were able to put up some great numbers?
I mean, just being able to see, because to be honest, we're a really defensively minded team, but it's hard to be a defensively minded team if you don't have any defensive leaders. So it's like, I feel like with us being sort of like defensive leaders on the team, it gives everyone like that motivation, that push, play hard on defense, do the best you can, do all you can on defense, because we're just all so defensively minded.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that helped your team have a winning season overall, 18 and 14 overall record, 12 and 6 in ASUN action. We're towards the top of the standings in ASUN play going into the postseason. Not only did you rank fourth in points per game, obviously able to score the ball very well, but you mentioned the defensive minded uh, mindset that you guys had. Third in blocks with 3.5 blocks per game. You were over a third of that right there. And then 37 rebounds per game for second in the ASUN conference. So this team really was able to do a whole lot of things overall. And the best part about this past season, in my opinion, for you, not only were you able to play at the Division One level, but you got a chance to come home not just playing FGCU, but also got to play in the Gulf Coast Showcase where you played, I believe it was Ball State and a few other teams.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you to be able to come back home, put on for the city and in person and show them, hey, I've been in this kind of hooper my entire life?
I mean, it was real crazy for me, to be honest. as you know, growing up in that area, I've always known about those showcases going on, the one at FSW and Hertz Arena, and being able to come home and actually play in one, it was a surprise to me. I remember the first day we had walked into Hertz Arena to go practice, and I had seen the news guy that's always the Naples news guy that's always there, used to always be at the FSW practices, and I mean I wasn't really thinking much of it, but then when I heard they was looking for me for an interview, it kind of surprised me, and it was like, damn, it really like it made me feel good, being able to come home, play in front of friends, family, people that used to watch me play in high school and used to watch me play back at JUCO and FSW. It was a good feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And I was excited to watch you play. I didn't get a chance to go there in person because I hadn't moved back to Florida yet. But you already know I purchased a subscription to watch those games live. I saw those dunks that you had. I saw the block shots, and you guys did a great job in that showcase there for sure. And you guys did a great job in ASUN play. 8 game win streak in conference action, including a pair of wins over your hometown team in FGCU. Had a pair of wins against the ASUN champs Lipscomb, who
Yeah.
they made it to March Madness. You beat them twice on the season. What made this Eastern Kentucky team so elite in conference action? You talked about the defensive capability. I mentioned the offensive numbers overall. What was it about this team overall where you guys are one of the best in the ASUN?
I mean, I have to give credit really to our coaches on that one. Because, yeah, the players make the team and all, but without the coaches being able to game plan and prepare us for the games coming up, there's only so much we could do. And I feel like the coaches have, like, every time always game planned for us really well, scouted really well, and prepared us really well when it came to get ready to play teams in the conference. So I'd have to give that to our coaches.
Oh, definitely. I met you guys' head coach in person one time when he was scouting some FSW players before I left Florida. And great guy, great-minded coach. Definitely excited. And obviously, you guys had a three-headed monster who now, unfortunately, they're going to be leaving Eastern Kentucky. George Kimball III entered the transfer portal, as well as I don't want to butcher his name, but Mayor Wool. Uh,
My well, yeah.
yeah, and then Devontae Blanton, his eligibility, I believe, is up, so he's going to be going to the professional ranks, as well as a few more guys that are going to be transferring out. So guys like yourself who had, just kind of a smaller role compared to those other three guys last season. You yourself on the season averaged 2.3 points per game, nearly 3 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, and then shot 72% from the field overall on the season. Uh, your only double figure scoring game was 11 points, 7 rebounds against Chicago State. Did have a great 8.5 rebound, 4 block outing against East Tennessee State early on this season as well. How are you really expecting this opportunity for you to increase your role going into next season? And how are you going to make sure that you're able to produce in that higher level role?
I mean, I'm expecting, you know, I'm just planning, working hard throughout the spring and throughout the summer, working on my game and everything. And I know my coach really has a big role for me coming up this year as well. I don't know how the recruiting is going for us right now, but I know that being the veteran big in the program, there's going to be a lot expected from me. So I know I got to take that chance, step up, and do my role the way I'm supposed to, improve on what I got to improve on, and just be ready for next season. Just go out there and dominate. Just have me a year.
Absolutely. And you and I talked about it last year. You came in fitting the exact same kind of style of play as Isaiah Cozart, who had left the program a year ago, who was ASUN player and defensive player of the year, had very similar playing style as you, except I will say you are a lot more athletic than Isaiah was. Got a lot of love for him, but you can rise up with the best of them and play with those 7 footers, even at just 6'7". So absolutely incredible what you've been able to do. And obviously, you've been underrated for so long. I remember talking to you back in JUCO, coming out of high school. I'm like, man, you average like 5, 6 blocks a game your senior year. Did you get any D1 offers? You're like, nah, and it blew my mind. So you've been underrated, and that's why I'm so blessed to be able to have you on and get your name out there even more than you're already doing for yourself with those ESPN top 10 caliber plays that you're doing. And that's why I have this segment that I like to call Who's Up Next, so I can get more players like yourself on this podcast and get their names out there as well. In this segment, you can actually give me some names, some recommendations that I can reach out to, have on this podcast this year, next year, and so on, so I can continue to promote their names as well, grow the Slim Sports family that you're already a part of.
Yeah.
Two rules, though. First of which, you got to help me get them on, got to help me reach out, which I know you do. You've done that already. And number two, you do got to give me at least one name where they were not a part of Eastern Kentucky this past season.
Okay. Well, I will name one Easter, like my roommate currently right now. He was a freshman and he didn't really get to play much, but I know I've seen him play. I know his game. He's a real good player. He's actually hitting the portal. He's committed to IU Indy. But my roommate and my boy Micah Davis, he'd be a good one to interview, I would say. And outside, I would say you should try and get George Kimball on. I don't know where he's planning on heading next year, but he would be a good one to get onto your podcast. And I could definitely help you with that. So George Kimball and Micah Davis, I would say those two.
I would love to get George Kimball on for sure. Him, Blanton, and Wool, definitely those three. I would love to add on to the Slim Sports family, and I'll definitely take a look at your roommate for sure. If you say that he's a dog, I know he's a dog, so we definitely
Yeah.
gonna be hitting him up for sure. And that's a great segment of who's up next right there. And now we got to talk about what's next. You mentioned how you're really going hard in the spring and the summer to take on a bigger role next season to have more of a scoring role and obviously continue to do what you do on the boards and with defense. What are some of the skill sets that you're really looking to improve on this season to go into next year the best version of yourself yet?
Well, we've started workouts, lifting and everything already. And what I've been working on during my individuals is my face up game. So because with my athleticism and how I move, I feel like it'd be better for me playing with my face up game than my back to the basket game, you know? So my face up game, and then a little later on down the road, get a little mid range jump shot in there as well, get my touch back right. Feel like I kind of lost that a little bit. But those are really my main focuses as of right now.
Hey, there we go, man. And I already know with your head above the rim as it is already, if you add that mid-range jumper, get a little face-up game going, nobody's stopping Yvens Paul when it comes to scoring the basketballs. So definitely excited to see what next season has in store for you. Hopefully an ASUN championship along the way, and hopefully here soon, at least ASUN Defensive Player of the Year. I
Oh
know you
yeah.
got to get that in your career.
Oh yeah. That's the
Yep.
plan.
Always happy to have you on, man. You're always welcome on the podcast whenever you want to be on. Beyond blessed to have you as a part of the family, man. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be on this podcast once again.
Of course. I mean, it's a blessing that you have me on here. And I always make time for you, my guy, every time. So don't even worry about it.
Absolutely, man. And soon, next time we have an interview, there's going to be an Yvens Paul autographed jersey on the wall. You already know.
Oh yeah. Sounds good.